You know, I have chosen probably one of the hardest digital media industries to get a professional career in. One of the reasons is the fact that the industry of esports is incredibly young. Some historians would date it back to the 1970s with local competitions and arcade machines. However, I believe that esports truly began a couple years before the 2010s. Back then, people were starting to learn about live streaming, and now anyone could upload anything to the internet. This allowed competition to go from local to global. But around the same time period, esports wasn't considered a full-time job. It was extremely common for professionals in the scene to use esports as a side gig while holding down what people would consider a real job.
I'm no longer with Russ. They actually dropped me. I'm not going to say I left. They tried to tell me to quit my job, and I basically told them they can go fuck themselves. I'm not quitting my job for a chance to win a lot of money.
Over the years, little by little, more individuals were able to make esports their full-time job. And in 2020, when COVID hit, esports was at its highest. Everyone was tuning in, especially because nobody was allowed outside. Sadly, the COVID viewership boom did not last forever. And in today's industry, everyone is paying the price for it. It's nothing new for players, coaches, and even casters to have their careers drop dead due to unforeseen circumstances. But more than ever, organizations are struggling to stay afloat and receive a return on interest. Even worse, seeing an ROI in the industry is insanely hard due to the ways of monetization being solely based on merchandise sales and brand deals. However, while I'm watching some of the world's biggest warning signs, my dream passion is still about being a part of the esports industry because of one thing. That thing is... Hello.
Hello.
Well, maybe I should ask a few people how to become a professional in the esports industry before I try and become one myself. I was able to interview 4 figures from specifically the Rocket League professional community with questions regarding trends in the esports industry. From these questions, I earned advice on how to make a career out of esports. The 4 community figures I interviewed were assistant coach and professional analyst for Furia Esports, Buttery Hotness.
So I kind of view analytics in Rocket League the same way I view analytics in basketball. Analytics can be used to drive a lot of decision making, and it can be used to form a team, but there's always an on-court aspect that isn't shown in analytics, right?
Right. The most accurate investigative journalist and founder of Shift RLE, Achilles. The current best and star player for the German Rocket League scene, Tox.
When I was like 15, I just turned pro. I was super hyped. I was getting my first contract. I had no idea what the hell I was doing because I was still a little kid.
And professional and bilingual caster for the Sub-Saharan African region, Mockfish.
I lost the bet, and as a man of honor, you honor the bet. And the bet was I have to apply to the community league where we were playing to try out casting.
These 4 separate individuals, each with different career paths and unique positions in the industry, share the same 2 sentiments on several of the questions I gave them. So, what did everyone agree on? The first thing everybody agreed on was content creation is becoming increasingly important for an individual to get a job. Overwhelmingly, each interviewee unanimously agreed that, quote, content is king.
Yeah, content is king, basically.
Yeah, especially because they know content is king, and they want to build a fan base. Content is a great way to build a fan base.
If I would have to start over again, I would probably take the content route because I think it's much more sustainable and you can become much more successful through that because you can build a brand outside of your own esport category instead of when you're a professional player, you are kind of stuck in the game because that's the only game that you're actually really good at. And if that doesn't work out eventually, then you're forced to do something else.
Professional organizations are seeking individuals who have an established brand. Having active social media channels will increase your probability of success in the esports industry. Daily or interesting content creation is actively landing people jobs in one of the most unpredictable digital media industries. To be successful in esports, you need a content creation brand that shows your character. Some of the characters in esports display their analytical skills, create personal outreach to the viewers, play the villain card, or showcase their discipline and gameplay knowledge. The second tip I received from interviews was having connections and networking is really important in the esports industry.
In actual fact, a lot of the work comes down to being recommended by someone.
That's actually how I met Prof, because he was working closely with the Rocket League team at the time, and he saw my videos, and he saw those, reached out to me on Twitter, said, "Hey, I think what you do can really help us out as a team as we go to take on the teams of the major." So, I mean, there was no really resume going on and all. It was really just a matter of him seeing my work and deciding to shoot a shot for me, shoot a shot on me, and I paused.
Being able to know a guy could eventually land you a job in esports. In some cases, the guy somebody knows ends up being yourself. Every person I interviewed started their career in the grassroots. Eventually, from networking and making connections, they were able to reach their opportunities because of the network they built. Be aware though, just because someone knows you doesn't mean you can get a job.
Because if you're recommending someone, you have to be 100% sure that they deliver, because you don't want to be the guy that recommended someone that was doing a terrible job.
Now, after over 5 hours of Q&A interviewing, I could finally explain why I wanted to pursue a career in esports. I fully understand that receiving a career in esports is an extremely small decimal point of a percentage. But I am ready to face all these pitfalls because of 2 words: passion and pride. With all of my heart, I love what the esports industry provides. It combines the 2 things in life that I love the most: video games and competition. Video games have always been something I can fall back on from stressful days. I have shared many great moments with close friends through video games, and gaming is my favorite hobby. In my life, competition is my calling. I am an extremely competitive person. I've always been extremely results focused while trying to outdo my peers in opposition. I know that my passion is for esports, but pride is my ultimate driving force. My pride in being the best person I can be on and off the field. My pride in representing my country and my state. My pride in making myself, my team, my family, and my country proud.